Hello, hello, hello. All right. I think we're live. We're getting going. It's coming. It's almost here. All right. Let me see if I can get in here. There we go. Hello, 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 hello. I wanted to be able to get here sooner. Oh, hi! Thanks for coming, Baby Love and Kels. It's so good to see you. I wanted to start this sooner, but I got really super caught up. I got too excited seeing that JID or JID's community song with clips. The video just came out like 10 minutes ago. So I had to watch it before coming on, or I was just going to be thinking about it. And it's really good. I'm going to have to watch it again when we get done. How are you all? How was your week? Yes, thank you, Kels. Yep, everybody, as you come in, please make sure to hit that like button. That would be very appreciated and very helpful. Um, so I want us to talk about some September vibrations because September is going to be a crazy month. We have a lot going on. Oh, I'm glad you're great. Good. Yeah, that was the same for me, Kels. Like it was a good week, but exhausting. It just seemed like a lot was going on in a lot of different energetic spaces. So it wasn't just work or just home or even just the energy around. It was everything this week. And it it made me a little apprehensive because September is going to be a doozy. So I want to talk about September. But before I jump in there, because I'll go on my tangent and just talk. Are there any numbers or anything that you are seeing or that you want to talk about? Any vibrations you want to talk about before we jump into September energy? Just let me know. I got all kinds of stuff for us to look at and talk about for September. It's September is going to be nuts, but it could also be extremely exciting if we could figure out how to not be overwhelmed by the energy, but really tap in and use it. It'll be incredible. It'll be incredible. Okay, sure. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So we could definitely look at specific dates in September. So why don't we do this so that everybody is prepared to do that and we can talk about those numbers for everybody, and then I'll use your numbers, Kels, as the example. So what we have to do first is we have to do two things. We have to get our life path number. So if we want to see, so like the hip hop video that I did, I think it just came out yesterday, where it was the vibrations for hip hop specifically in September. How I did that calculation is, so you take your calculation for your life path number. And so your life path number is your vibration. And so then that's where you do the year, and then you add the month and the day. And so that's how you get your life path number. And we've talked about that multiple times before. So we need to know your life path number first. And I'm going to let you do the calculation, and then I can check it if you want me to. So just let me know, Kels, what that is. And while you're doing that, I will just talk about this next piece. So then to be able to look at a specific year, month, or day just for you, we only use the month and the day. So for the life path number, we need all three. And then for, this is like your individual energy number. Because you'll take this individual energy number and we'll add that to the date vibration. Whether that's the year, the month, or a specific day. So if we get all that, then we could start looking at September, and we can look at very specific dates. So let's see. So 1980 gives us 18 plus your 8 and your 22. So your life path number that we'll use is 48. I thought it was that because that keeps coming up, because 48 is actually the life path number for Kendrick Lamar too. Well, we want to do the 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 0 to get 18. And then we keep our double digits. So this is for intuitive numerology. So you want to use it this way so that, and keep it all together like this. So that's where the 48 is coming from. Because then this gives you the path as also your ending number. It's okay. For some reason I can do math and science really well, but don't ask me to write a term paper. I can't word well. And spelling, forget it. But then this goes to that 12-3. So any time that I talk about Kendrick Lamar's life path number, and I have several videos that I talk about his life path number, that's going to be true for you as well, because you have this 48. So we want to look for, in September, we want to look for your life path number, because when it's a day that is also your life path number vibration, it's highly aligned. So you can use that energy to push that purpose and that life path forward. So that's why we wanted that. But then if we take your month and your day, and that gives us 30, then this is what we're going to add to the dates. So then we can see what your personal vibration is on those dates. Okay, let me know if you have that, because if you have that information, then you can do this all the time. And then when I put out the videos that have the calendar vibrations, you'll be able to get those numbers for yourself. Yeah, for a lot of people math is hard, but what's interesting is, like, I was both put in the gifted classes for math and science, but also told on a regular basis that I did math wrong, because the way I was getting to the answer was just the way my brain works. And it was different from how they were teaching it in the books and how they were teaching it. If we taught math as logic, as a way of thinking, as critical thinking, there'd be a lot more people that could actually do it. And they wouldn't be able to manipulate us as much with the numbers as well. All right, so let's head into September energies. Ooh, this calendar is tiny. Making me feel hella old. Make this bigger. There we go. So the first thing we want to look at is the vibration for the month. So September is an 18-9. And so 2025 is also a 9 year. But because we're in a 9 year, what that does is it makes the month have the same vibration as where it comes in order on our calendar. Because that doesn't always happen. It's actually pretty rare for that to happen. It usually only happens in a year that adds up to 9. And so this is a really special time because it means that we're getting these amplified vibrations. So September being the 9th month and then also having a 9 vibration makes it extra powerful. And so what we'll want to do to see for you, Kels, or for anybody else, you'll take the 18 for September, and then you'll add that number that you got when you added your month and your day. I don't even remember what color I made it. Oh yeah, I do. It was blue. And so, look at this. This is why you asking about September. So all of September is vibrating at the same vibration as your life path number. So all of September is going to be a time where it's going to be very high energy. It'll make it really easy for you to be able to jump in into any vibrational flow. And you can make things really easy for yourself because you're like in a vibing connection with the month. So it won't be hard to be able to harmonize with that energy because for you, it is going to be your life path number. This will, though, change a little bit of the strategy that you'll use in using these vibrations. So knowing this, and for anybody where it's different for them, so like for me, if I took the 18 and then of course I grabbed my calculator because I always second guess myself. Too many people telling me I don't know how to do math. Mine is actually 35, my month and the date. And so my vibration for the whole month is going to be 53. So then those are, you could see there's 2 examples. So everybody has those differences. But then you also have, so like mine is an 8 vibration for the month. And Kel's, yours is going to that 3. It's that 12-3 again. So real quick, how we have to think about these vibrations is, I don't know about you all, but I remember in like elementary school where they're trying to teach you to be a good neighbor. Like, everybody be a good neighbor. And they talked about how your, I forget what they call them. It's like your zone of connection or whatever. Is continuing to like go out. So it's like you here in the middle. So this is me. And then like the next circle is like family. And we all know now this is chosen family. Doesn't got nothing to do with blood. And then, like, outside of this would be, like, your community. Oh, I'm glad you made it, Tarot Gothis. We're talking about September vibrations. And so all we've done so far is we've made sure we had our life path number, and we have the number for when we add up our month and our day of birth. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I don't know why they're deciding to, like, mow the lawn right now. It's probably because it was hot during the day. If I need to, I'll get up and shut some windows and stuff, but it's still hot. So we're talking about how to, like, read these vibrations. And so if you have, like, you in the middle and your family, and then, like, your community, and then, like, outside of this would be, like, I don't know, like your state. Whatever. And it just keeps going out bigger and bigger. Right? And so then how we would think about this vibrationally is, like, you yourself is your life path number and your individual vibrations. Individual vibes. I know, I always have something going on outside. I must be saying something right, because something in this universe is always trying to stop me from being heard. My voice must be more powerful than I know. Then like your family, this family part would be like the general. Would be like the general vibrations. So like we looked at September, this would be that 18-9. Yeah, I don't even know where they're mowing the lawn, because it keeps sounding like it's getting closer and then farther away. Oh well. Just let me know if it's like bothering you or you can't hear me, and I'll figure it out. And then like this outside part would be like your transit astrology. And so that's like your individual astrology for an individual day. And then this would be like the general astrology. And that's how I okay, good. Thank you. That's how I kind of go through these vibrations, where when it's closer to me, it impacts me more. And so I start with my own vibrations. I recognize those as more major and more impactful, and ones that are easier to be able to utilize in what I'm doing. And then if I need to, I can go outside of those and use some of these others. Now, sometimes we all have the stories of when something happens in your community or in your state that is so impactful that it impacts everybody more than any of their other vibrations. So it's like these major events. So there are times when these outside vibrations are actually hitting and impacting us more than at other times. And we have some of those moments here in September. So hopefully this makes sense. But that's how I read the vibrations when I'm looking at a month. And so, like, if we go back here to September, or for anyone that got to see or watches later the hip hop vibrations for September, this is what I'm doing. I'm looking at hip hop's vibrations first, and then looking outside of it to see how it's being impacted. And we do have a couple of places where it's higher impact from some of those outside forces. Okay, so then when we look at this, so when we look at Kels's 48, what we're looking at is that this vibration in this month, it's starting with whatever came back around, because that's that 8 cycling energy. So whatever came back around in August, regardless of what that energy felt like or what it had its impact on your life, now is the time when you could actually use that energy. So you pull in whatever you energy you had cycling back, coming back to you in August, and you use it to examine the foundations. So you use it to really examine, are your foundations sound, or do you need to make adjustments? Are there cracks that you need to fill? Are there new foundations that need to be built? And the reason for this is because you're in need of a shift in your perspective. Something in your perspective needs a shift, so you're able to get to your next level of growth. So that's for you specifically. The nice thing about having this 8 here is that it's also here. So for everybody is going to have this cycling energy coming back. Like, we've seen so many stories and so many examples and so many people talking about karma in all these different areas of life. Like, we've seen it in hip hop, we've seen it in politics, we've seen it in relations between countries, we've even seen it within like the scientific world of the earthquakes and the volcanoes. Everybody is talking about karma and shifting and energy coming back around. And so there's a ton of energy that's coming back around for all of us. And what we're meant to do in September is use that energy that's coming back and put it into something new. So we're supposed to be shifting energy into something new so that something old, that's the 9, can end. So that's for everybody. And then knowing that, you can take your own information and be able to cycle it in. So like for me, where I don't have that 8, I would have this understanding of, okay, this is happening, but I have this 8 here. My end goal is the 8. My end goal is to utilize that 8 energy. And so the best way for me to utilize that 8 energy in this month of September is to really look at my areas of growth, make sure that I'm pushing myself in growth, but remembering that because these vibrations are neutral, that growth can go in both directions. So making sure I'm intentional in the way I want to grow, so then I can make some changes. So this tells me how I can use that 8 energy, even if yours doesn't add up to 8. So does anybody else have their number for what their vibration would be for September? So taking the 18 plus your month and your day. that doesn't have an 8 in it, because we could use that as an example. Because this will work regardless of what that is. Oh my gosh, there's a lag. And I hope I'm not freezing. I always wonder, because I can see the lag, but I can't like calculate it while I'm thinking. So then it's very odd. Okay, I think they might be done mowing. I shouldn't have said that though, because you know they're going to start again just because I said it. Okay, I'm going to just pull a random number. But if somebody has one... Oh, wait, there you go. Yeah, I'll check it for you. Oh, you have an 8 also. Mm-hmm. Just a different kind of 8. But let's see. Yeah, 44. You're right. You got it. Look at it. You did math assists. So like for a 44-8, the way you're going to use this energy that has come back around, this 8 energy, is you're going to examine the foundations, and then you're going to build on your foundations of hope. And where the foundations of hope comes from is 44 is the numerical vibration of the word hope. But you have to be very careful, because 44 is also the numerical vibration of the word karma. So you want to make sure that you're very intentionally building foundations of hope, because that energy could very much go into your karma bag. And you might not even experience it right now. You could experience it at another time. But let's think of a number that doesn't, because this goes to 8. So let's say your number is, oh, well, we could just do 20. So, well, that has 8 in it too. So let's do 46. I don't know what would add up to 46, but if we do 46, so if we do, we'll put it down here. If we do 18 plus 46, now that gives us 64. So like here, this is a 10-1, so it's not, there's no 8 there. But we still know that in general, and because this is a matching vibration, where the month is a 9, it's the 9th month, and it's a 9, that this is going to be a very strong vibration. So we're going to have to use this 18 in some way. The way we would want to use it if we had 64 is examining foundations, looking for gaps in your foundations, what foundations need to be broken down, what gaps need to be filled. Are your foundations of what you're trying to do, big or small, are they stable? So it's using this energy to build stability. So then you can, in that stability, you can have comfort. So this is like stability. So use that energy that's coming back from August into this month of September to build stability that then you can use, because you'll have a strong foundation for comfort. That should be your focus for the month. Does that help everybody know how to like use this a little bit more? Okay. So then we can do the same thing with the days. So let me see if I can copy this. I don't know. Let's try it. So we can get a fresh a fresh calendar, because I didn't think about having a fresh calendar. Look at hey, look at me. I'm smarticles. So we can do the same thing with each day. So for each day also has a vibration. So the first for general is 19. But then we can add whatever that day and month for you as an individual to that 19 to give you your personal vibrational day. So, Kels, what were your dates again? Because we'll look at those specifically. Oh, yes. Get Tarot Goddess on her channel. She'll be amazing. I don't remember what the days were. Let me see if I can scroll back. There's probably a long enough lag for me to scroll back. Yeah, okay. So the 4th through the 7th. you're fine. Baby love, don't say stuff like that. It makes me feel like I'm teaching again. And even though I am teaching again, I don't like feeling like I'm teaching again. We're having a discussion. Yeah, so the 4th to the 7th. So that is here to here, because they put Saturday and Sunday on both of here. So the 4th is going to be the 22nd. So if we take the 22nd, it's a 22. So if we take the 22, Baby Love threw me off. Acted like I'm the teacher, like I'm about to get her in trouble or something. Threw me off. But the vibration of the 4th is 22. So if we add your 30, then that's 52. And then if we do the same over here where the 7th is 25, and we add your 30, now that's 55. And so we actually are working with 52, 53, 54, 55. So once we know like what we're doing, even just a little bit, the universe makes it easy for us in that it is just adding 1 to each day. So if you just figured out even just your month, then the 1st is just going to take that number plus 1. And so on and so forth, so you can get your days. And so for the days, it's very similar to how we were talking about for the month. But what we want to do is we want to use that daily energy, that daily vibration, to go towards our bigger monthly goal. So it's, remember, when we're manifesting, we're building up the energy, we're stacking it up, we're making it as big as possible so that we can fully manifest what we're trying to manifest and what we're intending. Oh, thank you, Kels. Thank you. I always said that I didn't want to be a teacher, I wanted to be a scientist. And then every time I turned around, I was being put in a teacher role. I was coaching people, I was mentoring people. So then I just gave up and I was like, all right, I guess I'll be the teaching scientist. And now look at me. Teaching numerology, that's different. So you always want to work with this progression. And so what we're seeing here is, this is a 7 and then this is a 10. So in these days, you're really working with like having to figure out what the right action is to take, because that's the 7, to be able to get into a space of brand new energy that's divinely given to you. That's the 10, where the 10 is not just new energy of the 1, but it also has that 0 of that God energy, that divine energy that's being given to you. What's interesting here, though, is that 52 is the numerical vibration of the word heart. I don't know why I'm trying to squeeze all this up here. I don't know. It's making my brain feel better. So this action that you're supposed to be taking with this 7 energy, it has to come from the heart. It has to. It has to align with your heart. Whatever it is, you have to align this with your heart. Oh no, you found all the emojis? Oh, those are cool emojis though. Where did those come from? Those are cool. Oh, okay. Now when I'm in someone else's live, I'm going to have to look for the cool emojis. So on this 4th, make sure that you're really utilizing your heart, but it's the biggest thing is taking action. You want to take some kind of action. It could even just be small, in like making a decision that you're going to stick with is taking action. So you want to make sure that you're taking action from the heart on the 4th. And then as you're moving through these days, so now you're moving that energy into, so you're going from this action on the 4th into understanding how that action or decision from the heart is impacting the energy coming back to you. How is it impacting your cycles, whether it's daily cycles of like your daily habits and routines? How is it impacting bigger life cycles? How could it come back to you? That's what you have to think about and work on the 5th. Then on the 6th, where we have 54, 54 is the vibration of the word love, but it's also the 9. So it's, you examine the cycles on the 5th, on the 6th, now you're ending cycles that are not serving you. And you can only do that if you first took action with your heart. So on the 6th now, you're able to end cycles that'll help you step into love. And then you get to the 55, which is a big, huge change, because it has 2 5s together. It's a big, huge change that brings in this new energy that is from God. It's divinely given to you. So that's the bigger, like, interpretation. But for all of us just in our regular days, what you really want to look at is your 9 cycles. So everything in our world, and I try to imagine what it would be like if it wasn't this way, but everything in our world runs off of a cycle of 9. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, and then we go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because 10 is a 1 again. So it just keeps going. We just go through these cycles of 9. That's how we build up energy. That's actually how our energy moves. And so when we're in a flow of vibration, we're moving with that 9 cycle. So when it's not really specific days, like you needed, Kels, and hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if you have any more questions about those days. The other thing to be aware of is on the 7th, so that last day, where it's big, huge change, it also is a full moon eclipse, and it's in Pisces. So look in your astrological chart to see what house Pisces is in, to know what area of life it's going to be, that change is going to be most impacting. Anyway, but if it's not like very specific days, if it's not really specific days, and really needing to know what's potentially coming in and what energy is going to be moving through that space on those days, you just work with your 9 cycles, because that's really what you want. So in general, September is also unique in that, where September being the 9th month, and it's has a 9 vibration here, the days are also adding up and aligning in this same way. That's what's making September extremely powerful for everybody. This is one of the times when those outside energies are really going to be pushing a lot of things into our space and into our energy, where we would need to be able to be aware of it so that we can work with it instead of getting overwhelmed by it. September could be a very energetically overwhelming time, but it doesn't have to be. So what's happening is on the 1st, so it's the first day of the month, it also is a 1 day. So it's a 19 to 1. Well, to 10 to 1. Ew, what happened to my... Maybe it's because the boxes are so small, but... but ew. I don't know, like this looks... My lines look too fat. I don't like it. Let me see if I can make it smaller. There you go. So all of the days are also aligning. And that does not happen very often. It's very rare for that to happen. So that means that every day of this month of September is really big. Yeah, I did. So we want to pay attention to the 9 cycles, and typically just looking at the 9 cycles is how I use the energy, unless I have like very specific things coming up where like there's a day that I need to make a decision. I need to understand if it's would be good for me to travel or not, or I need to find like a day to be able to do a good meditation or something like that. That's really the only time I use the my individual daily vibration in a different way. Typically I just use the 9 cycles that are general for everybody, or my 9 cycles. I'll use those as well. All right, so what we have, we have the first is 1, and then the second is 2, then third is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so what we have is we have 3 perfect 9 cycles through the month. Oh, you know what? Look, I love my past self. My past self remembered that this might be something we want to talk about, and look, and I already put it in here. Oh, I'm the best. I love me. That just made me really excited. So what we're seeing is this perfect 9 cycle. And so you can use these 9 cycles to manifest small or big, because this is just another way of building up the energy. For you to use however you want to use it. And so One energy, and you could take a picture of this. I don't know if you can read it very well, but I'll mark on it so then you could take a picture. But thank you, Kels. One energy, this is like new. So this is when you want to pull in new energy. You want to be open for something new coming in. You want to be intentionally starting something new. So if it's like, okay, I have this big project that I need to get done throughout the month of September. You can split it up into these 3 9 cycles and have that energy help you move it through. This also can be, my intentions or my goals or my New Year's resolutions for the whole year are whatever, to go to the gym regularly. Why is that always like one of our New Year's resolutions? I think this might be the only year where I actually did it. I know you all see me in the Discord all the time, in the Koalaholics Discord. I'm going to the gym again. So this is when you have that new energy that you want to bring in. Even just setting the intention for the 9 cycle is pulling in that new energy. So then on your 2 day, now you're examining what are the extremes, and you're figuring out how to be able to bring them together or work with both of them. So it's like, okay, what's best case scenario? What's worst case scenario? How am I going to be able to be okay with both or either? And how do I work with that energy? That's 2. And I love that it's split up like this because my ADHD brain, if I can multitask, but if I get distracted, I will multitask on a whole bunch of shit that I am not supposed to be doing. But this actually helps me focus, where it's like, okay, today's a 2 day, so I'm just going to focus on this part of whatever it is that I'm doing. I'm just going to look at, well, what are these extremes? What are the good parts? What are the bad parts? 2 days are really good for making pros and cons lists if you're needing to make a decision. That's what you would use this 2 for. I would not make the decision on 2, but you could write the pros and cons list on 2, because sometimes we can get pulled back and forth between these extremes as we're examining them. So then we take that energy, and all of this is building up. So we're bringing in this new energy. We're understanding the energy better by what are its extremes, what are its boundaries, how can we use this? That's what 2 is really doing for us. And then 3 is looking at how can we grow it. So now, how are we growing this energy? Now that we understand what its boundaries are, what are its extremes, what we have to work with, now we can build it up and grow it. So now we're thinking about, all right, how do I make this energy bigger? How do I work smarter, not harder? So how can I be more efficient in the energy I'm using? Because that's also kind of a part of growth. So then, as we're seeing how we can build up this energy, now we need to really focus on the stability of that energy. How can we make what we're building or what we're intending, what we're manifesting, more stable? 4 days are also really good for working on anything that has to do with any kind of your stability. So if you need to do a budget to really look at your financial stability, A 4-day it's going to be easier on that day. Especially if it's a 4-day for you personally. But the 4 is building up the stability, because we don't want this energy that we've grown really big to have nowhere to go, because that stability is also like building the house for it to live in. So we want to build the stability. Oh, hi Josh, thanks for coming. Want to build up the stability and the foundation of this energy. So we've brought in this new energy. We've figured out what this energy is about. What is our goal? What is our intention? What are the extremes? What are the boundaries around it? Then we can figure out how to help it grow. How do we use this energy in an efficient way, so that as more energy is coming in, there's more energy coming in than that's going out. And then how can we build a foundation or a stability around what we're trying to grow? And this can be little, this could be small stuff. So like even with something, very simple of like trying to build a new habit. If you start doing the new habit on a 1 day, it's going to be much easier than if you try to do it on a different vibrational day. And then you can examine around that habit. What are the extremes of this habit? Because when you go to one extreme or another around a habit, that's usually when it's broken. Now, how can I grow this habit? How can I make it part of my routine so that I'm growing that energy of that habit because I'm doing it every day? How do I give it stability to make sure that it's not falling apart? So you could use these 9 cycles for even something simple like habit building. And because they're in every single month, that's actually what these 9 cycles in a month are really, really good for. Is for small things that then are adding up to your bigger things. So it's like taking like your 10-year goal and then breaking it down into 5-year goals and breaking it down to 3-year goals and breaking it down to 1-year goal, then monthly goals and weekly goals. That's how you actually reach that bigger goal. Same thing here. So then we get to 5, and 5 is the changes. But these changes are really about the foundation that you've built. So what changes need to happen to really make sure that your stability, your foundation is strong? So if we're talking about, like building a budget so that you have a better, financial stability, then the 5 is really when you can think about what changes you need to make to be able to make that stick. And then 6 is your comfort zones. And so your comfort is actually what you're putting into that foundation. But you have to examine your comfort zones because you want to make sure that you're not comfortable with something that's not good for you. It's usually when we're on these 6 days when we can actually have triggers of trauma or bad memories, because this is just a reminder to us that there's some things that have happened to us in our life that were not our fault, but we got too used to it. We got too comfortable with it. We learned how to survive in it. and we created this comfort zone of survival. But when we're out of those situations, now it's time to break those comfort zones down. And those comfort zones, those old comfort zones, could really be what's blocking you from being able to manifest and build something new. So 6 is actually a very powerful day. It's also related to being able to find the balance. So if you're still feeling like you're going back and forth a lot, then you can go back to this 2 day and examine those extremes again, because you have something is making you fall off balance. 6 days, I usually either feel extremely energized or very drained. Hey, Cousin B, thanks for dropping in. Appreciate you. Then we get to our action in flow. So what we want to make sure that we see is that you've gone through all of these steps, 1 through 6, before you're actually taking action. What so much of us do is we jump right into the action, but you can't take really good action without being in the flow. And actually using this 9 cycle helps you get into the flow. So it's not until a 7 day. So the 7 day is when you can make your decision, because making a final decision is one that could be an action. That's an action. So it's not until a 7 that you want to take action. And on 7 days, it's easier to make some decisions. But it's even easier if you've already established your balance in your comfort zones. You've already made the changes that need to happen. You've already established the stability, so on or so forth. So this is getting into that flow so that you can actually take action here at the 7. Oh, I know what we're doing next week. Cousin B's got a birthday. So we're going to be doing some birthday vibes next week. We'll see. I'll see what day I'll be able to do it. So after you take action, that's when you're establishing this new cycle. So again, if this is like a habit where you're starting the new habit, you're figuring out what the extremes are, you're going through this whole process, it's on the 8 is when you're actually ready to really have that cycle solidified. Also, though, on 8s is where we have to be careful of karmic energy coming in. But it also could be if you're waiting for something, like you've worked really hard for something, a lot of the times it does come in on a personal 8. Because this is also that reap what you sow energy. So this is when like the rewards come a lot of the time, is in this 8 energy. But this is when you can establish the cycle. And then you get to the 9, and then this is ending. So this is ending any of the old things that no longer serve you. You have solidified and established something new, and so now you can end it. And if we look at like how plants grow, and actually how our bodies work, everything works in this 9 cycle. It's really actually kind of spooky. We also, if you look at it, this is very similar to like what we see in astrology, where we have all the zodiacs in the circle. Outside of Earth, it's actually a 12 cycle, and in some places a 13 cycle. So that's why we have 12 or 13 zodiac signs. Man, I hope you all followed me on that, because that was a lot. All of that just to say use the 9 cycles. I'm going to leave this up just for a minute, so if anyone needs to take a screenshot, but then we'll go back and we'll look at, this is how you can do some planning for the month. Like if you need to schedule some appointments or schedule to do something, or if there's things that you need to do during the month, you can use these vibrations to really find a good time to do it. Oh, I just noticed that this side is a little bit, let me see if that's good. Because what's behind there for 9, it says ending. Ah! Okay. Okay, good. Make sure everyone has their screenshot. Because then we're going to go back to our calendar. And we see here that we have 3 of these 9 cycles. And this is general, so this is for everybody. Because then on the 10th is another one. Let's put all of them in here. So even without having to do your own personal calculations, you can use these 9 cycles, these general 9 cycles for everybody. And in September is like the perfect time to do something that you haven't done before, you've been wanting to do. It's a time to innovate. If you've been thinking about some big decisions that you need to make, September is actually a really good time for it, because all of the energy is amplified. We're in the 9th month that's vibrating at a 9, and then all of our days are vibrating at the same vibration. So 1 is 1, 2 is 2. So it's extremely powerful. So you can make some decisions about what you'll be doing on these different days. So now that's adding to your use of the energy, your use of the vibrations. This also can make you look like you're prophetic, because this is where you are now starting to actually use the vibrations and you're in the flow, so you can catch things quicker. And if you know, okay, you know what, today's not a good vibrational day for me to make a decision, so I'm going to save it for this other day. You'll seem brilliant. And that's what we need, right? We need us all to be able to be in the flow and whatever we can do to make life easier. So yes, math hurts everybody's head, but this is very little math, I think, for a very big reward. So some of the other things, other cycles that we have in here that we can utilize are things like we have, so the 4 moons that we've talked about, a new moon, first quarter moon, full moon, last quarter moon. Every single month has all 4. So you can also use those in manifestation, because really it's utilizing these flows of energy that are just naturally happening to build up the energy needed for things to come into your reality. So like if you like something as simple as, oh, I just met someone new and we're going to go on a date, pick a one day, because you'll be more open to the new energy, to getting to know somebody new. And if it's your personal one day, then that'll be even more powerful. You could also pick a two. So if it's like your third date and you're like, oh, I really like this person, now you could pick a 2 day of coupling where it's figuring out how you can be a better couple. I think dating is gross, so I don't know why I used that example, but that's what it is. Oh, hi, Judy. Thanks for coming. What else should we talk about? Do you have any other days or any other questions about September? I have all kinds of stuff I could talk about. I could talk about this stuff for like so much, but I want to make sure that it's really useful for you all. I think the 9 cycles are going to be most useful, honestly, and understanding what the general vibration is for the month. So just knowing that like September is a time for ending, now you can use the 9 cycles to really push that forward. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I said, what? I was trying to find a general example. I didn't say I fit it. Let's see. What else should we talk about? Um, like I love past me, because look at all this that I put in here. We could jump around to anything. Ooh, you want to talk about portal days? Portal days. Yeah, I did. You all are so funny. You crack me up. I crack me up. I'm so glad that I found my group of people that crack up at me and my weird dry jokes, so I don't have to be the only one laughing alone. Yeah, so this is the whole calendar for September. Yep. Um. Okay. Yeah, let's look at portal days. So let's go over here. So September is huge for portal days. I'm gonna move you up here, because how helpful are you? Not really. Let's see if we can get our. Yep, got the calendar bag in there. I'm awesome. Oh my gosh, you all are so funny. Oh, we gotta watch out, aunties, because we gonna make all the young people not want to be around us no more. Oh. So portal days are very cool. So every single month, every single year has like 3 portal days. Mmm. That's interesting. Well, Oh, Josh, okay. You always like to bring these questions for us to think about. So, because this actually is related to portal days. So what we have to remember is that everything is moving in that 9 cycle. So we have 9 and 1 that sit right next to each other. Look at Tappy. So whenever we have an ending, it's also a beginning. So the end is the beginning, and the beginning is the end. So this is when everybody is talking about shifting, this is what's happening. This is the shifting. So it's ending, but it's like making space for the new energy to come in. Because September is 9, but then October now is 10. Where it's not only the new energy, but it also has this God energy. Yeah, no freedom ever. And then you become adult, and then you really have no freedom. But that's really what it is. It's a shifting of energy. If you don't think about it as a full ending, now you're actually building up the energy even better. So the way I like to think about it is, instead of it being a circle, that it's actually like a spiral staircase or a spring. So each time you get to 9, it just takes you to another level. So you're building the energy higher, and then you go around again, and you're building the energy higher, and you're going around again and building the energy higher, and you're going around again and building the energy higher. So that's how I like to think about it. Because if each one of like the spirals on like a spiral staircase is a 9 cycle, now you're going up and up even more. Yeah, I like that thinking. Doobie doobie doob doo doo. Uh-oh. Got me over here singing a little ditty. But no ditty. Oh, man. I crack me up. I'm funny. So in September, we have September is the 9th month. It's resonating at a 9. And then 2025 is also resonating at a 9. So we would expect that this year we would see a ton of endings. But what it's coming across as, and what we're hearing the theme of, is shifting. And that's actually better. Because we don't want to stop the building of the energy. We just want to shift it. Yes. See? You got it, Josh. You got it. And so, usually in a portal day, so like in August, we've had 3 portal days where we had the 8th, and we had the 17th, and then this week we actually had the last one, which was the 26th. And these are just when the month and the day are both an 8. And that doesn't even have to do with the vibration of the month. So here, where we have 9 and it's in a 9 year, instead of just 2, so instead of just a double energetic portal, we have 3. So on the 9th, it's a 999 portal. On the 18th, it's a 999 portal. And on the 27th, it's a 999 portal. And this is amplified because September is actually resonating at a 9. Whew. So I would expect that in our individual lives, but also in the world around us, whether it's in our families, in our communities, we're going to see a lot of endings, but mostly shiftings. Where it's like, oh, where did that come from? All of a sudden, we're shifting into this new energy. Because what's happening is these nines are getting together and they're creating momentum. And it's part of this 9 cycle. So it's spinning. It's like a whirlwind. So when we actually are receiving our manifestations, it's really interesting. Where the way that it looks is like it looks like it's a whirlpool, and as it comes down, that's what the energy is manifesting into something, into our reality. But on these portal days, so on these 3 days, if you need something to end, it's gonna end whether you like it or not. If you need something to shift, it's going to shift whether you like it or not. So this is a big, huge month to be able to really get energy moving. And these are just the portal days. So these are the biggest energetic portal days. But because we're in a 9-year, in a 9-month, every single day becomes a portal. So like the 1st, we have 9 for September, but then we have 1 for the day, and then we have 9 for the year. So now we actually have this portal number where these 9s are working together to spin, and it's making that 1 even more powerful. So that's why I keep saying, like, September is a big, huge, energetic, vibrational month. Huge. Because every single day is a portal. So if you're working with the 9 cycles in September, it's going to be extremely powerful. Like, you can do some really big things in September. If you're trying to pull in new energy, and you are doing that on any of these days that are resonating at a 1, you can pull in some really big energy. And things will be happening very quickly in the month of September. We'll see a lot of like quick endings and quick shiftings. Where you'll be like, whoa, I thought that was going to take longer. But here it is. So these portal days are really cool because every single month has them. So you can use those portal days to really energize. That's where you could actually add energy to the energy you're building up to try and manifest. You could do some really big things on those portal days. But in September, every single day is going to be acting as a portal. So releasing, especially because it's 9, releasing, ending things, but also pulling in, because with every ending is a beginning. So really big things happening in September, in this September time. What questions do you have about portals? Let me know. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to take a break and say, make sure that you hit the like button. Thank you for being here. So this is like another one of those outside layers of vibration that are going to be impacting us all. Yeah, very much so. So September is very much going to be one of those months where you want to be very intentional about how you're using the energy. But if you don't want to be intentional, or you just don't have the energy capacity for it, because we all have those moments where it's just a point in your life where you're freaking tired because life is tiring. September is a very clear month to just go with the flow. What's flowing in, you deal with it as it flows in. If it's a reward, you welcome it with gratitude. Don't say that. You're not slow. Yeah, no, you've got it. You're not slow. That's exactly right. And every year, there's one month that's more powerful than any other month in that year because they add up to the same vibration. Yeah. No, you're exactly right. Exactly right. So every month has these portal days. Most of them have 3. Some of them have 2. Some of them have 4. They have these portal days that you can use that energy. But then there's always one month out of every year that's the most powerful. And the years actually work in a 9 cycle as well. So it all comes back to that 9 cycle. That's how everything in this earth world works, is in that 9 cycle. I think it's very cool. That's why, like, if you look up like Fibonacci sequences and spirals, the patterning is very much a 9. It's a 9 patterning. It's how, because the energy actually moves in that spiral space. Mm. Let me make sure I turn my screen so I can actually read your comment. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so practical, yeah. Mm-hmm. Practical affirmations. Um, yeah. Yeah, yes. Every month you should be revisiting some of those first affirmations and continuing to build those those vibrations. But when it's a month like September, where it's the most powerful month out of the year, this is the month where you could really get big things done. So, like, go back to like January when you're setting your New Year's resolutions, or find a big goal that you have for the year and you want to really power in a lot of that work in this month. And use this energy, use that motion of that cycle as your like your pendulum to help you get into the flow. You're not slow, and jogging is good for you. Actually, muscle moves a lot of energy through your body. You can use a lot of energy when you have muscle. So we've got so much happening in September. A lot, a lot. Okay, I got to change my phone back, because if I don't have this phone here where I could actually see the time, I will just keep you all here and I'll just keep talking and talking and talking until all of a sudden I'm like Forrest Gump and I'm like, oh, I'm tired. I think I'll go away now. but who knows how long that would be, because I love talking about this stuff and it's so interesting and exciting. So we've got all these portal days. So we've already seen that we have big cycling energy. Is this where we put it? I think so. Nope. We put it here. So we have big cycling energy that's happening in this month. We have these portals that are happening in this month. And the point is I'm not telling you all of this to overwhelm you. So don't be overwhelmed. It's more to figure out what works for you. You have all of these options, all of these ways of being able to be in the vibrational flow and really build up your energy so that you can manifest and you can create the life that you want to live. But it's figuring out what works best for you. So for me, like the 9 cycles make sense, and also the moons make sense. The moon energy makes the most sense for me. So I use those a lot. But you can really, it's try these different things out and figure out what works best for you. Is it really planning to do a lot of work on these portal days? Is it using the 9 cycles? Because all of our brains work differently in being able to visualize. And we need to be able to visualize what we're intending so that we can manifest. So it's figuring out which way actually helps you the most. Just like there's a ton of ways to be able to meditate. So when somebody says, oh, you should meditate, that doesn't mean you have to sit, on the top of the mountain and be quiet for a bajillion hours. That works for some people, but most of us know that does not work. Like, people meditate while they're exercising. So I've used the example multiple times because I think it's amazing that Kendrick Lamar uses his jogging every single morning as his meditation. That's his time when he quiets his mind, he talks to himself, he feels into his body, and he talks to God. So whatever that is for you. I've met people where they journal, and that's when their mind can quiet. There's people that like doing meditation works. There's people that just being able to listen to a song. So there's so many different ways. Yes, I love Tibetan bowls. And the vibrations are amazing. So it's just figuring out what works for you. It's being open and willing to try these different things and to ask the questions about what the options are so you can find what works for you. I'm with you, baby love. There's no way. Even with me going to the gym every day, I would be mad that I even climbed up there, and then I'd be mad that I have to climb back down. So then my mind wouldn't even be able to be quiet. Yeah, so just figuring out what works. And most of what I have on my channel is really about what is the vibrational flow, because whatever it is that you're doing, if you can do it with the vibrational flow, it's gonna make it even more powerful. So if you have a different meditation for each day in the 9 cycle, now it's going to be even more powerful. So like, for example, I have tried before, because I've tried just about everything to figure out like what works for me. But one thing that I really liked was the 9 cycle actually aligns with our chakras. And so you could focus on a chakra, an energy system within your body for each of those 9 cycles. Josh, you're funny. An anthill. Knowing my luck, I'd sit on a fire anthill. I'd be in trouble for real. So you could do something where like one, and this is also coming back to like when we've talked about colors, where the colors also align with those chakras. So 1 is red for that root chakra, and then 2 can be orange, and then 3 is yellow. And so you can actually, even just wearing the colors on these days, help you get into the flow of the vibration. No way. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you threw me off. You threw me off with your story. I like them though. Don't stop. Then 4 is like green. Everybody always wants me to go all the way through these because they get confused about the last few. 5 is our blue. They don't really have a good one here. It's, we could do light blue and then like a dark blue for 6. Also, all of your chakras are aligned with different parts of your body. So you can also like meditate or focus on or do something nice for that part of your body on those days. So we have the 7 chakras in actually Egypt. So in some ancient cultures, it goes all the way up to 8. I think in Egypt, they have like 13 chakras that they use. But what I have found is then 8 is your earth chakra. It connects you to the earth. And so they don't have brown, but this is like brown. It's like earth colored tones. And then, oh, I don't have that either. And then 9 is your soul star chakra. That connects you to heaven. Connects you to whatever your higher power is. The universe, God, goddess, science, whatever. But this is your soul chakra. And this one a lot of times is white. I don't know if you've noticed, but I wear a lot of white. And it's because white reflects energy. So it actually makes sure that your energy is reflecting out stronger. It helps in reflecting your energy out stronger than the energy that's coming in. So it's actually a really good way of making sure that your energy is not overtaken by others. I don't know how we got on this from September, but it works. It goes along with that 9 cycle. So if you paired something like this, like with your meditations, with the portal days, so like in September on your 9 days is when you're doing more meditation and really focusing in on that connection to higher power, along with all of your 9 cycles, man, you'd build up a whole lot of energy. A whole lot of energy to be able to put towards your intentions. So it's that repetition, it's the routine that is building it up. Oh my gosh. Okay. I've been on here so long. but I'm like still excited. I have hip hop stuff on here, but I am gonna come back on live tomorrow to talk everything hip hop. So we can talk about hip hop's September more tomorrow. Oh, but something that I haven't I didn't talk about in my September video. Woo. All right. These are hard to see. But I'll make one of them bigger here in just a minute. But this is some of the astrology that's happening in September. And it's actually really cool. So we have these layers of power. This is, again, why September is so powerful. So we have every day is acting as a portal and resonating with itself. So 1 is 1 and 2 is 2 and so on. We have the month that's resonating with its position in the year. So it's a 9 vibration in the 9th month. And then we have it in a 9 year. And then if we go up even higher into the astrology, there's all kinds of really interesting things happening on the astrological level too. So it's extremely powerful. So these are the astrological charts for the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th. And if you watched that hip hop video, we could talk about this more for hip hop specifically tomorrow. But we have this really interesting alignment of planets here that is just making this even more powerful and interesting with the energies that we're going to be encountering. So we have one triangle here, and this triangle is with outer planets, so they move extremely slow. And so this triangle that I put in green, we're going to, you see it's on all 3 days. We're going to be encountering that throughout this year. I don't remember how long it goes, but it goes for a pretty long time because it's all of these outer planets. But then in September, and you see it's only for a couple days, we also have a second one right here. And what is so interesting about it is that they're mirror images of each other. So it's like there's a mirror right here. Very cool. So when we have the mirror image, vibrationally, what that's doing is it is like, oh, gotta look at the man in the mirror. We just had that really good verse from Ab-Soul with his song. It's Joey Badass's song, and Ab-Soul's in there, but he talks about can't even look, like he doesn't see the man in the mirror. But we need to be looking at the man in the mirror, where it's this, the man in the mirror is where you're getting your biggest lessons from. And so the planets are really giving us information about what the lessons are for this time period. And in these days, it's like a mirror image. What it also is reminding me of is, I don't know if we talked about it in any of the lives, but I know I did a couple of videos on it where we have like this parallel path, karmic path, where we've seen that there's one karmic path that's happening. There's one vibrational flow. But depending on your decisions and your movement through that flow, you could get very different outcomes. but that's what is being highlighted here in this this vibration. I just thought that was cool. But I'll let me see if I can copy this. I don't know if I can be fancy and smart that many times. We'll see. Oh, I'm very proud of myself. We're gonna make this bigger. Yeah, that was a good one. I can't even see. Yeah, can't even see. Yes. Yes. It was such a good bar. And I don't know if you've noticed. Um, so I know most of the people that come to the channel are really into hip hop, but it's been in hip hop and I've heard it a lot in some of the new um, R&B and some pop songs. It's come out where it's been a lot of talk of karma. Like JID just had a whole song on karma. That's what's being displayed here in this astrology. It's so cool to see, like when you really tap into the vibrations and then you start seeing it everywhere. It's like those angel numbers. When you actually start paying attention and you start getting the messages, then they just keep coming. They're like, oh, you can hear me. Oh, you recognize here's this, here's this, here's this. And then it gets exciting because then it's like, oh yeah, this is cool. Oh, thanks for answering that question, Judy. That's great of you. Thank you. Um, okay. So I think this is gonna be the last thing I do, because then I'm gonna go Forrest Gump on you all and be like, okay, that's all I have to say. I'm gone. But this, so here we used green here for this one. So what's happening here is these energies are coming together and it's pointing here. So it's directing this energy. That's why we use shapes. So shapes, that vibration of shapes, actually you use those very intentionally also in moving energy. And the triangle is made to direct the energy into a particular spot. And so these energies are getting pushed in. But what's interesting is these are, not only are they the outer planets, so they move really slow, so we're going to be having this for a long time, but right now, actually by this time, because I think it's on like the 3rd or the 4th, Uranus, yes, you can say Uranus if you need a giggle, goes retrograde. So all of these planets, we've got 4 planets here working on this in this triangle position, and they're all retrograde. And when we have retrograde, it's really focused in on this RE. So this is a time of review. It's remember. It's any of these. What are some of these other RE? Review, remember, reward, react. So it's all of these actions and these movements that are coming in during this retrograde season. And also because these planets move so slowly, they are in retrograde a lot longer. So we are going to not only be feeling this configuration of this triangle, but we're also going to feel that retrograde from these planets quite often. And so my amazing astrology teacher, her name is Stormy Grace, and she has a really cool YouTube channel. for anybody that wants to dig in more. And she built an astrology school, which I went to, and I loved it, and I want to go more, but I have to have more time. Stormy Grace, amazing. But she taught me that these outer planets, the most outer planets, they work kind of like professors, where they're setting up the syllabus, they're setting up the lesson, the blueprint of the lessons to be learned. And so we have Pluto here, and Pluto's all about transformation. So these are lessons of transformation. And Pluto right now is in Aquarius, which is like for the people. It has other themes, but for the people keep coming up like heavily right now. I think with everything that's happening in like the world space, the world political space, the US political space, like it's coming up very much so. So over here we have this energy of there needs to be a transformation. It's pushing for a transformation that's for the people. And so this Pluto is feeding in here that energy, that set of lessons. And then we have over here, we have Uranus, which is about innovation. And innovation also includes technology. So all of the stuff that we're hearing about with AI and trying to figure out with AI, it's Uranus. It's Uranus over here, especially because it just moved into Gemini. And Gemini is about communication. So it's innovation and technology and communication. And so this is also why this is so extra impactful for any music genre, including hip hop, because that's a communication space. That's why we're seeing the need for innovation, but also this new technology coming in and needing to figure out how to work with it, or what's good about it or what's bad about it, and what we need to really be doing with it. So we have Uranus feeding in these lessons, because it's also a professor. So it's feeding in these lessons of innovation and technology around communication also into this space. And then we have these two planets over here that are conjunct, but the professor that's over here is Neptune. And so Neptune is like it's the water energy, it's the imagination, it's the intuition, it's the dream space. So we're getting lessons of transformation, lessons of innovation, pushing into this space, into the dream space. So being able to use your innovation and dream up new things, new technology, transforming the spaces that you're in because you're dreaming big in Neptune. Because Neptune is over here in Aries, which is I am. It's your identity. So we have these lessons and this energy that's feeding right in here. And Neptune happens to be conjunct right now with one of the tutors. So the tutors are Saturn and Jupiter, but this tutor of Saturn is all about the structure. So Pluto transformation wants there to be transformation for the people. Uranus innovation wants there to be innovation and new technology around communication. And the way that it want it to happen is to come through this dream space, visioning very big and changing the structure. I just think it's just so cool to be able to see, because we see this happening. We see like things happening in front of us that's like, oh wow, transformation and innovation and technology. These themes are coming up a lot, and people trying to be innovative with it and figure it out, and it's coming across weird, and I don't know what's happening. But we need to be dreaming big. So for us to not just get overtaken by the energy, but actually be able to use it, we just need to know that this is the flow that's happening, and how can we use it for ourselves. This one over here is very fleeting, because it has stuff that's moving very quickly. But just real quick, we have Lilith over here in Scorpio, and Lilith is the dark moon. So this is like our shadow work, and it's feeding in here. And then we have, oh my gosh, I used so many colors. Here we go. And then we have Venus over here, which is the feminine energy. So what's interesting is the dark moon is feminine energy. We have Venus over here, which is the feminine attraction energy. And that's feeding in. Oh, wait, that's not what it is. But it's working here with Jupiter. So we have our other tutor here, which is Jupiter, which is about expansion. And that's feeding in here along with the Venus. And what they're pushing this energy into, boop, 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 what color can I use? Because I use too many colors. Okay. Is we have like this three-way thing working together here. So we have the sun, that's putting a spotlight on everything, but this is also identity and ego. With the South Node, hey, that's another, is release. So back to this retrograde again. And that 9. And it's working with Mercury. And Mercury is also communication. That's a good question, Josh. Sorry if you've been sitting there for a while. I missed it. So the scientific world does not consider Pluto a planet, because how they've defined planets, it's now considered to just be like an asteroid or a smaller object. So like Lilith and Chiron, those are considered like asteroids, smaller. They're not a full planet. They have to meet certain parameters to be considered a planet. So scientifically, Pluto is not considered a planet, but energetically, so when we look at it and think about the vibrations and the energy, Pluto is very much a big part of that. And you see, we've talked about Chiron, which is also an asteroid, and now we have Lilith here also. So any of those bodies that are giving out vibration, which they all are, is actually impacting us, and we need to be aware of it. Speaking of which, there's a really cool science thing happening if you haven't seen it. I don't even know if I don't even have colors or room or anything to put here. Oh, it's actually the one empty space. So here, right near Mars in Libra, there's an actual, it's a comet. Maybe you've heard about it. There's a comet and it's 3I Atlas. And all of these scientists are going crazy about what it is and why it's in our solar system and how it's impacting our planets and the earth and the sun. And at the same time, some astrologists, but probably more of them, should be talking about how it's changing some of these planetary configurations, because it's sitting here in Libra, which is the area of justice. So it's bringing this extra justice energy in. It's very interesting. Okay. I know I've made a hot mess on here. I've given you so much. Your brain is probably fried. And hopefully you'll still come back and talk with me some more tomorrow. But is there anything that any questions you would like me to answer before we go? I love that, Josh. Me too. I was like, that makes no sense. Pluto is definitely a planet. Like, how? No. How do we have Roy G? How do we have, like, what is that? My mother serves me something. I don't even remember it anymore. But pizza's at the end. How is my mother going to serve me pizzas if there's no pizza? So, Pluto, planet. So, are there any questions? We certainly can talk about this more, and we will talk about this more tomorrow, because when we look at this same astrology and these same vibrations for hip hop, it is very, very interesting. But we also will, we're going to jump into some of Josh's suggestions. Thank you for that great idea, Josh. And so tomorrow we're going to start looking at some of the vibrations and the astrological charts of hip hop with certain artists and certain artists together. So I think that'll be super fun. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm just amazed that there's so many of you. And I know it's a nice little group, but it's so many of you that come and enjoy this and are getting something from it. Because that's really what this is for. I want us to be able to apply this so we all can really use these vibrations and use this energy in very powerful ways. Because we all deserve it. Yes, you got it, Josh. You had pancakes. I had pizzas at the end of mine when I learned that little acronym for the planets. Yes, us. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Either way, like, you take away the best part without the P at the end. Love that. Thank you all so much. I will be back here tomorrow. I just stopped like scheduling a time because I never know. I never know what time I'm going to be ready and when the spirit's going to move me to be ready. So, we will meet tomorrow and talk everything hip hop. So bring your hip hop questions. Thank you so much for being here. Please make sure that you hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'll see you all soon. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye.